Hey, Penny. Hey, Rachel. No problem, Rachel. Anything for a diary detective. Trying to get everything all set up so I can see the YouTube chat too. All right. So we're gonna probably finish March today. I also took pictures of April just in case. I don't know if we'll get there. Hey, everybody. So we're continuing to read through Georgia and Ralph's diaries from 1903. They're a couple. They're not married yet. They'll be married in December of this diary. And these are their real diary entries that we read through and research together every week. So let's see. Oh, I have too many things popping up. There we go. Okay. Oh, every time I come into the TikTok live studio, it's completely different. There's always like a new thing that's I gotta get used to. Okay, so what we do is we read through each entry and then I type it out as we go, and usually people come up, places come up that we look up. We've learned a lot about their lives so far. We have a picture of Ralph. We actually have quite a few pictures of Ralph. He wrote one of the diaries that we're reading, but we don't have a picture of Georgia yet. Hopefully someday we will find one. We have in the past with, you know, people who we thought we could not find the pictures, we've found them, so we'll see. Alright, so I'm going to find March 23rd. Ooh, lucky, I clicked the right one. So the first diary that we read through is by Georgia. So that's the woman. And then we'll also read through Ralph's. And it's really unique because it's the same year. It's both of their perspectives of the same year, so we're reading them together. Alright, so I'm just going to get going. We have a lot of people in here. I think we had quite a few registered. They're all here, I think. So, hey, Nikki. Okay, so got up at 6:40. So Georgia lives in Waterloo, Iowa. Helped with breakfast dishes. Obviously, it's 1903. And her family has, yeah, I know, lots of people popping in. I must have shared it onto the For You page this time. Georgia's family has boarders who stay in their house, which are, you know, people who rent out rooms. And so she's helping with dishes a lot to take care of them. Didn't go to office at all today. And actually I can show whose office she's talking about. She's talking about her dad, Martin Newton. He is an engineer in Waterloo, Iowa, and she goes and helps him at his office. So that's what she's talking about there. Mended. Hitched up and took Mrs. Oh, okay, we've got this woman again. Mrs. Every time I read this name, I have come up with a different possible spelling. So if anyone wants to chime in, hey, Valentina, good to see you. If anyone wants to chime in on what they think, this one actually seems a little bit clearer, but basically the variations I've gotten, every time I read it, I see something different. I've gotten, I thought it was Morium before, but now I don't see that. I don't see an M, I see an N at the end. Morrin was one of them. I also, it could be MOU, but then what else? It would be MOU something. Maurin. I did look through the census today in Waterloo, and, oh no, in LaPorte City, and I didn't see anyone with, like, Morium or Morin. But now, I don't think I've gotten that spelling before, so we could check that one. And also, we have a clue now. We never had a clue before, except that she was with the McShane family. That hasn't really helped me much, because there's a lot of McShanes. But it says hitched up and took her to school. So maybe she's a teacher. Or, I mean, she wouldn't be a student, because it's Mrs., right? So, oh, it could be Moman. Or Morrison. I think Morrison is one of the ones we thought before, too. To school, as the hack didn't come. Wonder what she means by hack. Does anyone know? I've only been on for like 2 minutes, Kat. Hello. Is hack like... I was thinking it's like a car, but it's not a car yet. So it must be like a taxi, but with horses? I don't know. Or her driver or something. Helped with dinner and dishes. Yeah, that must be why I'm thinking that. A horse taxi. Yeah, I'm assuming they had some kind of form of taxiing, like a hired ride, a rented ride, yeah. And did she say she went out in the hack sometimes too? I think she might say that of herself, like when she's on her, in her carriage, her horse and buggy. Helped with dinner and dishes. Served all afternoon. Oh, sewed, actually. Snowed and blew all day. Hey, Pat. Rented. Oh no, why did I say rented? I think I read Penny's comment and it like stuck in my head. Rented. Helped with supper and dishes. Played flinch, of course, a while. That's hilarious. Like every single day. I think she does that more than anything else. Not filch. I'm not talking about Harry Potter. Flinch. Went to bed at 10:30. Ooh, Lauren, what'd you Google? I'm curious. Ralph had company. The horse-drawn kid hack is considered to be the precursor to the modern yellow school bus. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna finish this entry and look that up. That's adorable. So were there like a ton of kids on it? Went to bed at 10:30. Ralph had company in evening. Friend from Mason City. So obviously when she's talking about Ralph, she's talking about her future husband. Okay, I gotta look up hack school bus. A kid hack was a horse-drawn vehicle. Okay. That looks like a car. Wait, this was horse-drawn? No. Oh, motorized. Okay, so this is like the first motorized school bus. How cute is that? It kind of looks like a modern-day school bus. Just clunky. I feel like the front like does look like one. That's funny. I wonder when they started making them yellow. Okay, we don't have a picture though. That's sad. I'll look up horse-drawn. Oh my god, it's yellow. That is so cute. Okay, sweet. I'm keeping a picture of that. That's really cool. Okay, so that's good to know actually because, well, I made that huge. Every time they talk about hack now, they're probably talking about a school bus or maybe even like just a regular kind of bus. But that is a huge clue for who this lady is because we really haven't gotten anything else other than her name before, but now we know. I mean, do you guys think it's safe to assume that she's the teacher? Because why else would she be on the school bus? Yeah, it is cool. It has the name of the school on it. I could do a little bit more research and see if they have any for specifically Waterloo. I feel like that's a really specific thing for them to hang on to. We'd be very lucky. I'll put it on here. Okay, and I'm gonna also add that Mrs. Morin or something is a teacher, which is a huge clue because maybe in newspapers we can find her. And I could even look now if you guys want. I feel like we've seen a lot of, I wish they were like easy to just click on. We've come across a lot of articles that just like list the school teachers. So it's 1903, but I'll do like 1900 to 1905. Maybe there's an easy list that we can find. They did it with the students. ever could it be that easy? Well, let's see. This is their salaries. I really do remember seeing a list of the teachers. It might take me a little bit of time to find it. I wonder if I could do like, I don't know. The problem is I'm not entirely sure how she spelled her name. I don't know. Low wages of teachers, still a problem. Scarcity of teachers. Wow, it's almost like history repeats itself. Nerve-wracked teachers. Oh, that's funny. Okay. This might be it. Are we gonna list them? Oh, okay, cool. So this is, I don't know what this picture is there, but is this in Waterloo? Of course it's like blocking, whatever that is blocking what I need. I've noticed that about newspapers.com recently. It's gotten very glitchy. Hi, Audra. Yeah, Georgia's school was East Side High School. I don't know. I'm gonna just like kind of skim here. Looks like the teachers are at the bottom. Oh, Cedar Township, Mount Vernon. Okay, well, we're gonna be looking for Waterloo. Okay. Margaret Mangrich Krantz, Sister Mary Arbogasta, Burton Minish Cruiser. I'm just skimming, I'll probably miss it. Okay. Well, I'll just add it to the list. We'll keep looking. I don't want to spend too much time on it. So we'll skip over to Ralph's 1903. He wrote something snowy, stormy. Got up at 7. A little later than Georgia. After breakfast, went to Berries to feed horse. That's Georgia's grandparents' house. To feed horse. Went to meat market after meat. Went to office at 8:30 and worked on Plot of Parkside edition till 11:30. Went to my room and shaved. Called to find Mr. Knox. Forthcoming? Ingoing? No, both coming. Maybe both coming? And going to office. Thanks, Penny. Went up to Berries and fed horse after dinner. And worked on senior thesis all afternoon till 6. Went up to something and fed horse went up to something and fed horse and was, oh, surprised to see George Turner. Okay, his writing gets a little messy here. Went up to house and fed horse and was, hey Corinne, I'm doing good. How are you? And was something surprised to see George Turner when I came back. Talked with him. Talked with him something. Went to see Wilson and went to bed. Doing well, just crossed a bunch of stuff off your to-do list. Oh, nice, that does feel good. My to-do list has stayed very stagnant lately. This diary takes place in Waterloo, Iowa. Ralph goes back and forth because he's going to college, so sometimes he's in Mount Vernon, Iowa, but right now they're both in Waterloo. Yeah, I don't know if this is like a little tricky. Talked with him, and maybe that's and Mr. N. Maybe Mr. Newton. That might be who he's talking about, actually. That would make sense. Mr. G.N. Yeah, maybe. Okay. We will go back. Oh. To Georgia's diary. So this is her perspective of March 24th. Lovely day. That's cute. Got up at 6:40. Helped with breakfast, dishes, and done other work. Helped with dinner and dishes. So, I said this before, but I'll just repeat it because people are always coming in and out. Her family has a bunch of boarders who live in their house. So when she's talking about getting dinner ready or doing dishes, she's usually talking about taking care of those guests. Sewed all afternoon. R and I went up to Grandma's. Helped with supper dishes. I think I'd go crazy if I did this many dishes. Went to P.O. and then came home and printed and fixed a few pictures. I wish I could see those pictures. Went to bed at 10:45. Muddy roads, but pleasant day. Okay. That was an easy one. So now Ralph's March 24th. Let's see what he did. There is a little overlap. They did spend time together. Clear and cool. Got up at 7. Again, a little bit later than Georgia. Went up to berries and fed horse. And shoveled snow off the walks. Worked on thesis. And talked to George. I feel like he's talking about Georgia, but maybe not. Do you think I should say Georgia? I'll just write George. It looks like he wrote George. Why do they know helping with the dishes is an important thing? Well, her family rents out like part of their house, so that's like I guess, how they make their money. At least partly. I mean, her dad's an engineer, so he does make a living that way, but I think just because that's, like, basically her job. I don't know. It is kind of repetitive, but maybe she spends a lot of time on that, so it's like a big chunk of her day. Worked on thesis and talked to George until noon. After dinner, went up and fed Barry's horse and worked on thesis and oration till 5. Went downtown with Georgia. And then we went up to Barry's. Do you think they fed the horse again? After supper, helped her wash dishes. Watered Hector. That's a horse. I think it's funny that he refers to some horses by their name, but other ones as just his horse. Hey, Aaron. Georgia's dad's name is Martin Luther Newton. Right? Isn't it Martin Luther? Martin L. Newton. I'm pretty sure it's Luther. That is Ralph's family. Yeah. There he is. I'd imagine they had a lot of dishes. A lot of things were probably made from scratch. Yes, and having so many people living, I think they had like 6 or so people when I checked the census, so. A lot of dishes. No dishwasher. We do a lot of dishes here too. I don't have a dishwasher, and it sucks. So I can only imagine adding like 7 more people. Maybe Diaries are partly a log for the work they did for the family. Yeah, definitely. Watered Hector. Where was that? Watered Hector went to P.O. It's the post office. And at Park for water. Printed pictures and went to bed. 11, I think he's saying. O'clock, OC. I'm curious how they were printing pictures on their own. That's kind of cool. I think one time he talked about printing pictures on a separate occasion. Do they talk about their emotions or aspirations? Not as much. No dishwasher either, Rowan? Yeah, you feel my pain. Not as much as like people would nowadays. Nowadays, when you think of a diary, it's like you write down your feelings, but it was more like a day-to-day log, as you can probably tell from the like kind of mundaneness of the tasks that they're talking about. But every once in a while we get a little glimpse. Like a few weeks back in this diary, they actually got in an argument and they were talking about it. So like there was a little bit of, like you could tell Ralph was mad. And then when she didn't write to him one time, you could tell he was sad. So it's kind of cool. You get a few glimpses, but not nearly as much as you'd expect from like a diary entry nowadays. Got up at 6:45. Helped with breakfast dishes. Sewed. I keep thinking it says served, like she served food, but it's sewed. Helped with dinner and dishes. Ellen came over to see me. Gertrude was here too. She talks about Gertrude a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this like wasn't showing what I was typing, but it doesn't really matter as much as the actual entry does. I don't know how it gets moved over like that. I fix it before. Yes, I do upload them on YouTube, and now I'm actually streaming to YouTube also right now, or I should be. So it actually automatically saves them on there, which is nice. So now they'll be on there as like, I'm live streaming now, and it'll save it for later. So I don't have to actually upload them, which is like such a nice feeling. I'm not triple streaming. No, I stopped doing Twitch. I wasn't really getting anyone on there, and I figured YouTube is better because it saves the video for me. I don't know, I'm all over the place because I feel like obviously my main like audience is on TikTok. So I don't know why anybody would go to any other live streaming source, but I want to establish one because TikTok might get banned, like we might be having to leave. So if we do, I want to already have like a habit of streaming somewhere else. So I wasn't sure if I should do YouTube or Twitch. I mean, I don't really have any reason to like one over the other, except that YouTube saves them, and I already do upload things there, so I'm trying out some different things. I didn't not like Twitch, but I feel like triple streaming is like a little ridiculous, so I don't want to do that, but I mean, I could. Do they say who the borders are or where they're from? Well, I can show you. Let me, I do have like a quick link, but I gotta find it. It's not quick if you have to look for it, right? But I sometimes search through the census on Ancestry. So if you look, I think it's the 1900 census. I'll stick it in. Come on. Yeah. I think we can, oh, you know what would probably be easier if we go to them. Because yes, you can see where the borders are from, or at least where they were born. I'll look at Martin Newton. That's her dad. So we'll click on 1900 because that's the closest to the diary year. And he's down here. 617 Mulberry Street, that's their address. And let's see what it says for his profession is civil engineer. So this is the rest of his household. So Sophia is his wife. Georgia is his daughter. Daniel, or Samuel. Oh, okay. She talks about Sam a lot. Sam is her cousin, so Martin's nephew. He's living with them in 1900. I don't know if he's living with them in this diary. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. And then all of these are borders. So we've got, I think, oh, there's 5 in 1900. And they are from New York, Iowa, Tennessee, Wisconsin, and Indiana. Oh no, I guess that's not one of them, so. Yeah, it looks like, oh, and they all do different things. So, student, teacher, secretary at the YMCA. That's cool. They all have different jobs. So a lot of times the boarders are people who are kind of like either single or spending time in a town for a little while but then moving away. Like Ralph was renting a room in Burlington, Iowa, because he was working on the railroad over there, and he was just a boarder in that house. And when you look at that census, the woman who owned that house, she has boarders every year. So people who kind of come and go and they rent a room for a little while, or they rent a shared room a lot of the time. Okay, so what was I doing? I wonder if, I feel like I've looked before, but in 1910, what were they doing? Were they renting out any space? Rumor, yeah, so they had someone, oh, Smith J. Newton? I don't know if Newton is the last name, if he's related, or if Smith is the last name, but I think it's Smith is the last name. So they do have one roomer in 1910. They were getting a little older. Maybe they stopped doing it. And then let's see. There's no 1890 census. There's a state census in 1895. Oh, but I can't read it. Okay, how about 1880? Yeah, it's like a B&B, but people would stay longer. Like an Airbnb, like an extended stay Airbnb. Yeah, they've got a couple. Oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Oh, this is when they were living in LaPorte City. So this is not in Waterloo. They were in LaPorte City before that. And so here's Mr. Newton, her dad. That's her mom. That's her. And Hester Cummins and Milford Cummins are their relatives. So they're listed as boarders, but they're actually like his cousin, I think, or something like that. And they're still over there. When you go through the census, you should see. Yeah, a lot of people did have boarders back then. Like roommates. So I'm wondering now, that woman, Morin, I wonder if she's a boarder in McShane's house. I should take a closer look. Maybe I'll just write it down on the list. We know she's associated with the McShanes because Georgia was talking about going to visit her at the McShane's house to see how she was doing, like implying that she was sick or something. And yeah, there was crime back then. I actually have a funny example. I'll go on a little tangent. any chance I get to bring this up, if I can find it. Georgia's Uncle Dan, great Uncle Dan, where is it? He owned a farm. We have a picture. Oh, I'll look for the picture of him. That's how I'll find him. I get distracted and I'm like saying things and trying to... Okay. So Georgia's Uncle Dan, he owned a farm in LaPorte City, or around there, not actually in LaPorte City, actually in Big Creek. This is a picture of his farm. And on his farm he had some chickens. And this article is about someone broke into their, or like I guess not broke into their property, but like someone trespassed on their property and stole chickens, I think. Or he took, did he kill the chickens? Or I think he stole them. And basically, they couldn't find out who did it, but they did find a set of false teeth outside in the crime scene. And at the end of the article, it's hilarious, they start making jokes. So it says, Barry says that he has no use for the set of grinders, the teeth. And as it must be a great source of... sorry, I can't read these old articles. I get, like, a little bit tripped up. Mr. Barry says that he has no use for the set of grinders. And as it must be a source of great inconvenience to the chicken roost robber to eat his catch, but with a half set of teeth, the property will be returned to the owner by simply calling for and proving ownership. So, like, not only did this person come in and steal his chickens, he left his teeth. And Mr. Barry is like, I'll give the teeth back if they come and say who they are. But they, basically, in another part too, they were saying, oh, here. Mrs. Barry says that the mouth of the owner must have been as crooked as he was, or as crooked as his way of securing the popular delicacy of his table. But the party who left the teeth will have to make the chickens into soup or chicken pot pie, for he will certainly have trouble with his mastication. A full set of incisors and molars lying in a neighbor's hen coop cannot be expected to materially aid in the digestion of the party who left them there. They, like, never stop making jokes at the end. But yeah, I don't know if they ever caught him. But yes, there is crime and funny articles about it. I mean, that was like a less severe crime, a less violent crime, but every once in a while we come across stuff. Alright, Ellen came over to see me. She has not, I don't think, mentioned Ellen before, but she mentions Gertrude a lot. We've never gotten a last name, though. Hitched up. And R and I went over the river and up to Grandma's. Helped with supper and dishes. Went downtown. Hey, Heather. We've only done a couple of days today, so. Went downtown. R and I went down and called on Myrtle in the evening. Went to bed 10:45. Pleasant day. Myrtle, I have a picture of her. This, oh no, that's Mabel. We never found Myrtle. Because again, we don't have a last name. But we found Mabel. And sometimes she talks about Mabel and Myrtle together. No, we haven't had any talk of Native Americans that I remember. I don't know, any of you guys remember? There were a couple of phrases one time where it came up, but no. Got up at 7. This is Ralph now. Went to Barry's and fed horse. Worked oration in PM. It's like his schoolwork, and went after meet and to office. Where do I get the diaries from? I get them all different places. I've gotten, the first one I got that started my hobby was at an estate sale. That was just like lucky. No, you haven't missed the wedding. It's in December, so there's lots of time. And I started to really get into that one, and I started looking on eBay. So I got the second set that the first one that we did on live. So, sorry, let me start over. The first one that I got at an estate sale, I was reading and researching on my own. Like that, I was sharing videos about it, but I didn't do this kind of thing. The ones that I got on eBay, it was 3 diaries, also from Iowa. I started to do the lives with them, so it was like a different kind of thing. So those were from eBay. And then someone who was invested in the story of those 3 diaries, where we actually got to return those to a descendant, which was really cool. So during that process, someone who was kind of following it, they read an article about us, and they had a set of 6 diaries that they weren't really doing anything with, also from Iowa. So he offered them to me, like a donation. So this set, there's 6 of them, written by both Ralph and Georgia. It's kind of like mixed together. They were donated. So I hope that answered your question. I also have gotten a couple from eBay, like here and there, that we haven't really gone through yet, but I don't buy too many, because I would buy them all. I need to have self-control. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the Diary Detectives, my Patreon group, you'll understand. I feel like it's been, like, we haven't gone crazy in a while, but there are times on there where we're like, oh my god, should I spend $200 on this? Like, no. That's the problem. They're often very expensive on eBay. But if you wait, and if like you're looking for a project like this, if you wait, you'll find something. It's just, it takes time. Were they allowed to kiss before marriage? Good question. They haven't really talked about it. I don't know. They're definitely spending unchaperoned time together. I'm rewatching Bridgerton right now, and in Bridgerton that would not be allowed. Yes, eBay gets super expensive, especially when the bidding wars start, and I try to avoid it. Working on oration in PM, and went after meet and to office in PM. Georgia and I went down to call on Myrtle. Oh, we also had another, oh, is that the name? Is that her last name? Myrtle Rush? That's awesome if that's her last name. I was just talking about how we didn't have it. We had another diary donated to us, and we've been working on that in my Patreon group as like a separate project. Kind of like this live, but just the Patreon supporters. And that one's a 5-year diary. It's actually right here. I'll do a little plug for the Patreon. If you want more, that's how you get it. So it's a 5-year diary written by a woman named Elizabeth, or Bessie. And then she also has, it's not actually 5 years. It's like, it's supposed to be, but it's spread out over many years, which is kind of interesting. It jumps around. And then we have some input from her daughter. I don't know if you, hold on, I was showing the wrong page. Input from her daughter, Dorothy. Can you see the very big handwriting? That's Dorothy. And every once in a while we read an entry from her, and it's very cute. Where do you put the diaries when you aren't taking photos? So I'm working on, because I say we just moved here. We've been in this house for a year, but obviously a lot to do. We're still working. I have, like, right now they're all in a box together. I have some, I'll actually show you, because I keep them around my desk when I'm doing my live. But the 1917 diary, which is my, like, prized possession, I keep in here. This is an archival box. Basically, it's just acid-free, so it doesn't, like, harm it or anything. I'm hoping to get more of those. They're a little expensive when you start adding them up, but I have a few of those. And then I am making a special little bookcase for them. I just, like, haven't finished painting it and getting it all set up yet, but that will be where I keep them. It's like a little wooden bookcase with glass doors that come down. It's cute, and it'll keep them from getting dusty or anything. Message me what? Oh, on Discord. Oh, you're not talking to me. Okay. I should check the Discord anyway. Oh, you're casting on the TV. That's awesome. I'm on Rachel's TV. You didn't know what? Valentina, for some reason I could see... Oh, here. Oh, that's cool, Addie. Okay, I didn't see the whole thing. I only saw half the comment for some reason. The oldest diary we've done, I think, is the 1895 one by Georgia. So the woman who's writing one of these diaries that we're reading now. Oh, the plans for the bookcase. Yeah, yeah. I got the bookcase at, like, a thrift store. And it's, like, solid wood, but it needs some help. So I'm going to paint it. Ian and I are making, like, a big bookshelf in the room that we haven't done yet upstairs. So we're working on it. I'll send pictures later. But yeah, the 1895 one was the earliest. Look at your Bridgerton comment. Okay, hold on. I gotta go find it. I missed it. How far up? I'm looking. My chat is weird today. It's like not getting everything, I think. What was your comment? Say it again. Unless it's not too far up. I don't know. It makes all the usernames go sideways sometimes because of the little badges, but you're not seeing it either. Okay, you know what, Emily? Maybe it got filtered. It's possible. Sometimes it filters out stuff that doesn't make sense. For dumb reasons. Okay, Georgia and I went down to call on Myrtle Rush maybe after supper and took short walk. I fed the horse at berries at noon and night. Just said they'd think they'd have a baby if they kissed in Bridgerton. Yes. Yeah, maybe it was because you said the scandalous word kissed. Yeah, I actually... Did I finish it? No, this morning I'm, like, almost done with the second season. Again, I've already watched it, but... I liked the first one a lot. The second one was alright. I kind of just had it on in the background, which is why I don't even know if I finished it. But I'm looking forward to watching the Queen Charlotte one. Oh, you said pregnant. Oh, God. That's why. Scandal. Got up at 6:50. You know what Ralph doesn't say anymore? I had D. B and D. Got up at 6:50. Helped put the clothes outdoors. Sewed. Yeah, so back on the, like, was it okay for them to kiss each other back then before they were married? I don't know, but I feel like they probably wouldn't write it down. If that's what they were doing, they probably wouldn't write it down for other people to maybe find. You liked the second season, the slow burn, yeah. Have you watched the third one? I feel like I asked for opinions about the third one last time, but I forget what people had said. The Queen Charlotte one's very good. Yes, I heard that. I heard the Queen Charlotte one is, like, really worth watching. Hey, Lex. And I've heard mixed reviews about the third season. And honestly, like, I'm like, whatever about it, too. It's not, like, my favorite show, but I like the costumes. I think they're really pretty. I don't know if we're not allowed to say pregnant on TikTok. Haven't seen season 3. I haven't finished season 3. You're enjoying the third? Nice. Helped put the clothes outdoors. Sewed. Helped with dinner and dishes. Went to office in afternoon. Ralph's brother, Clifford. I had a realization too. Ralph talks about Clifford a lot when he's at school, and he's talking about his brother. And I never realized, we probably have even said it. You guys probably told me, but I forgot. It's his brother Clifford. Came at noon. We have a picture of Clifford, I think. Clifford. You know why? Because his name is actually John. So I didn't realize. But look at his little glasses. Cliff. Thanks for the follow. Rafter Aquine. Ralph's brother Clifford came at noon. Ralph and Albert came to office to see me. Helped with supper and dishes. Cloudy. Rain in afternoon about 4 and all evening. Played flinch all evening. Went to bed at 11. Okay. Is anyone here near where the hurricane is going? I guess it's changed a little bit. I haven't really been following exactly where it's headed now, but Flinch is a card game that Ralph and Georgia love very much. We have a picture of it. They play it almost every day. This is what Flinch looked like. Curious where I'm getting all these diaries? Well, these that we've been working on for a long time, the ones with Ralph and Georgia. It's a set of 6 diaries that were all donated to us. Everywhere, sorry, I was reading and, okay, let me start over. Every set of diaries is different. I get them from different places. So some of them I've gotten from eBay, other ones from estate sales, and then quite a few were donated to us at this point. So that's where those came from. And they will hopefully be returned to descendants, relatives who are living when we're done. We've already found a few people who are related to Georgia. Georgia doesn't have any direct descendants because they didn't have children, so they're like descendants of her uncles. Flinch must be a good game. What are the rules? Good question. I don't know. We did actually have, do I have a link to it? We had a instruction manual that was included in whatever this eBay listing was. Like, you could see what's in here. And it told you the rules, but so you could look it up. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I followed for a while. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Shannon. It's fun. And it's really cool. I mean, this one, like, these diaries are taking a while because we have more of them, which is great. But it's really nice at the end when we actually get to return the diary. And with the Weatherman diaries, we called them. We got to return them to Jim, who was the diary writer's great-grandson. And that was, like, a really cool feeling. All right, I gotta switch over. I'm on Ralph, March 26th. Clear, got up at 7. Worked in office, 8:30 to 12. Clifford came over at noon. Worked in office till 2 o'clock. Something made survey for Mr. Demo. And got back at 4. Worked. Every time I see something like where he writes a letter and just doesn't erase it, just writes another letter over it, I'm like, huh? Worked in office till 6. Played flinch in evening with Georgia. Clifford and Elizabeth. Oh, he's listing. Georgia, Clifford, and Elizabeth McClelland. Okay, so is that the Elizabeth that she hangs out with often? That would be cool, because we didn't have her last name before. Georgia and I got beat very badly. Went to bed at 11. Georgia didn't mention that they lost. She's like, we were just playing to have fun. Okay, I'm gonna write down Elizabeth McClelland. feel like there were more people too. Mr. Demel. I don't know if we're gonna be able to find him. I just have a habit of writing down every name that they mention. Try to find everyone. Do you find that diary writing was more common in these times that you've noticed? I don't know. There are a lot of diaries out there that are for sale. I'm sure if there's, you know, so many, that means there were many, many more that have gotten, like, either lost or are stored away. So yeah, I think it was. I mean, I think I just read a comment, oh, I'm glad you're back too. I've been here. Just TikTok doesn't show me to people. So I'm glad you're back. I did make an event for next week too, if anyone wants to register for it, so it actually tells you when I'm live. It's on the 11th. It'll be Thursday. Oh, hold on. What happened? Nothing. Okay. Someone commented about the internet. Yeah, it was common before computers or the internet, because if you think about it, this is how people were able to document their life and go back and kind of review what's happened in their life. And now we can take pictures so easily. We can update our social media, take a video. It was just much different when, you know, much more different. I don't know. They couldn't do that, basically. So this is how they kept tabs on what they did and when they did it. Okay. Did I already do this one? Yes. So that is Ralph. Switching back over to Georgia on the 27th. Anyone have plans for the 4th? Got up at 6:40. Ironed and done other work. Oops. Mended. Went to office in afternoon. Went downtown. Do a little moving and grooving so TikTok doesn't think I'm not doing anything. Went downtown. Oh, babysitting all day. Oh, but a baby. So cute. Oh, yeah. I hope they won't be afraid of the fireworks, too. Not American. But you have our vote for your prime minister tomorrow. Oh. Yeah, it was funny. I said last week, I was like, oh, I'm not going to have my live next week on Thursday. When this was last week. So I'm not going to have it on Thursday this week because of the 4th of July. And then I realized, like, a good chunk of the people who watch my live and who are in my Patreon group aren't even from America. So they don't even, like, it doesn't matter to them. But I figure most people are doing, like, barbecues and stuff. Yeah, Americans. I know. So selfish of me to just kind of, like, assume. So American of me to just assume, like, everybody celebrates the 4th. You were just reading about Flinch, and it's listed as originating in 1903. Oh, so it was, like, the game that took the nation by storm in 1903. I love that. We're seeing, really, you know, we're reading these people's perspective, this wonderful couple, but really we're witnessing the birth of Flinch. Barbecue. Yeah, we're going to barbecue. Ian just got a grill. So we're going to invite my parents over and do a little barbecue. And then probably go to see fireworks later. Thanks, Rachel. Yes, I feel like I need to order that Flinch game. How much was it? I didn't even look. When we were looking at the eBay, like here it is. It's still on eBay. Ooh, $22.95 or best offer. Should I buy it? That's not that much. But what's the shipping? It's standard shipping, $8.60. Oh my god, I kind of need it. I didn't realize it was that. No one else buy it. I'll buy it. I'll buy it and I'll share it with the Diary Detectives group. And we'll play it. Coupon code, yeah. Oh, there's multiple for sale. Okay, so we can share. Get it. Just what I need to spend $20 on. I will, and then I'll share it on the live. And then whenever they mention Flinch, we can play a round of Flinch together. Went downtown. I can't buy it now, though. I have to finish the live. We'll finish through March. Ian and I have to go buy a chest freezer after this. So boring. Well, we don't have to, but we want one, which is also sad. When you become an adult and you get excited about buying a chest freezer. And, oh, today I installed a track for my kitchen trash can to roll out of the cabinet, and I'm just so excited about it. Flinch is a game that apparently was invented in 1903, which is even cooler, because that's the diary year. And Ralph and Georgia play Flinch like there's no tomorrow. We will play Flinch. Grandma will bring it over. All right, went downtown, helped with dinner. Dishes. Helped with supper and dishes. Supper. And dishes. R and I went and took a walk. Went to bed at rather a nice day. So she didn't finish that sentence. Maybe she was gonna fix it or finish it like when she went to bed. She was gonna write one, but she didn't. Hi, Deb. Good morning. It's morning for Deb. Okay, March 27th. Rachel was autocorrect. Did I autocorrect? Did I do something? Or are you talking about Georgia? I'm confused. If I mess something up, let me know. Looks like a card version of Domino's. Yes, it does look like that. No bedtime entered. Scandalous. Your daughter's birthday. Oh, hold on. Yay. Happy diary birthday to your daughter. Oh, did I... Wait, 1903. Did I mess up and write 1930? No. Woohoo! We haven't had a diary birthday in a while. Oh, she wasn't born in 1903. Yeah, that's okay. We call that a diary birthday. It's very special. Oh, it's your birthday too. Hold on. You get your own happy birthday in the diary. For a while, when we were just reading through one diary at a time, we had a lot more people chiming in saying, oh, it's my birthday, because we read through more at a time. So I felt like we had to stop and say happy diary birthday so many times. I wanted to make it special, so I made that little video, and we don't get to use it that often, so I'm glad. 2 times. You were trying to type kolaches, but oh, I kind of just skimmed over that because I didn't understand. That's funny. I did see pooches. Oh, that makes way more sense. Eat pooches. I was like, what? Just let that go. Clear got up at 7 something. 15, 50, I don't know. Went and got Andy and made survey for John Stubbs or Stuffs and Jay Ryan. Jay Ryan, 8 to 10. Went to office. Then to Cedar Valley Manufacturing. He wrote MANFG. Co. After Mr. It's not Thomas, is it? Kind of looks like it could say Thomas, but I don't think it does. Trows, maybe? I don't know. That's kind of what I see. I have lurked a bit over time, but I wanted to say hello. I think this is cool what you do. Thank you, Scotty. You don't have to call it lurking. But I'm glad that you enjoy, and I'm glad that you're here. And you should comment more often. Did they spell Thursday with an E? Where? I don't think so. Did I? No, they do third top right. Here? Wait, I don't know. Top right of where? Pre-printed? Like, not on my page. On this? No, they just... Oh, this! Here! Okay, yes, okay. I know what that is. That is, it's for thermometer or, like, for the temperature. So, this is a place where people would write what the weather was like, and Ralph does that. He writes clear, he writes, like, rainy, whatever the weather was. And this was a place where they would write what the temperature was, but he doesn't really do that. But yes. Sorry. That question hasn't been asked in a while, so it caught me off guard. But yeah, that was something in the Weatherman Diaries especially, because he didn't use it at all. Like, he just ignored it. And it looks like it says weather, and it's just kind of confusing, but we figured it out. Yeah. Made... Sorry, I should have known what you were talking about. Made survey for him 10 to 12. After something dined with Mr. Barnett or Barrett or Bannett and Andy went out and worked on Park Bridge edition. Back on 5 o'clock car. Oh, bye, Corinne. Have a good rest of your night, too. We're only doing a few more days, so enjoy your barbecue. Okay, went to office till 5:30. Georgia Toodles. Georgia and I took short walk after supper. Something felt bad, but got over it. Both felt bad. Oh no. Are they in a fight about flinch? Because Georgia was supposed to flip the other card, and she didn't, and Ralph got mad at her because he hates losing. That's probably what happened. Talked with Mr. or Mrs. N. It's always hard for me to tell if it says... I always think it says Mrs., but it says Mr. I don't know. Mr. Newton will assume, since he's a man, he's probably talking to the man of the house. And went to bed. They got in a fight. No, I don't know. Maybe they're sick. I think he mentioned it the same way when they were fighting the last time. He said they felt bad. But maybe, yeah, maybe they felt sick. Maybe it was something they ate. Yeah, it could be. March 28th. Couple more days of March. Got up at 6:40. Swept 2 rooms. Hold on, I'm gonna check on Ian, make sure he's home. Oh, he's almost home. Swept 2 rooms. Was at office all day. Helped wash. I hate when that happens. It makes me feel like I'm yelling. Helped wash dinner dishes. Went to get Mr. G-E-W or Gamil. I don't know what that is. Gawil? What do we think? It's so interesting that we document what we document. I know, it's interesting, like, the changes or the differences between what she documents and what he documents, and then what we would nowadays versus what they did back then. It is interesting. From huge emotional moments to wash dishes. Yeah. Went to get Mr. Something to help clean house, but he couldn't come. Stopped at Market to see Gertrude. Or no, to see Myrtle. Why did I say Gertrude? Then to office. Went home at 4. Hitched up and took R, so Ralph, over to locate the bridge at the Black Hawk, but no one there, so he couldn't do it. Helped with supper and dishes. Went downtown after supper a while. Then home and played flinch with Ralph. Went to bed at 11:30. Okay. I haven't shown the pictures, the old pictures we have of Waterloo in a while. I just think it's fun. I like having, you know, for people, a face to the name, but for places, it's just cool to see, like, what it looked like then. So, if I can find it, we have quite a collection of Waterloo pictures. So this is her city. A little bit later because there's cars, but you get the idea. It's just so cool. What do you do with this information? Well, for me, this is like a Google Slides that I keep. I do put it on my website. So if you go to www.thingslostandfound.com, that's my website. So everything is there for like you guys to see. And yeah, the goal is to return it to the descendants when we can. I am also going to send, there's a museum in LaPorte City, which Georgia's family has like affiliation with. I'm going to send them the digital copies. So whenever I can, I try to share it with organizations like that. But yeah, otherwise it's just kind of like for my own fun, and anyone who has like a relevant, you know, like a relation to the diary, I try to send them copies and stuff. But yeah, other than that, it's like not much. It'd be cool to have a database. Just didn't know where all the work you put in goes. It is a fun hobby, yeah. And it's paid off, like, the first diary that I read through, the 1917 one, which I'm still making videos about, but I've already, like, read it. That one, it turns out, she was related to, her family had a mansion in Long Island. On Long Island, sorry, I think it's on Long Island. That's now a museum, so I've, like, I guess I shouldn't say that I don't do much, because that one I really have worked closely with the museum, and I was able to like share some things with them that they didn't know about the family, and obviously I learned a lot from them too, and I did a presentation there. So that's all on my website too, and on my YouTube page. So that one in particular, I feel like I've connected with a lot of, you know, historical societies, museums, people like that. So got up at 6, went on 7 o'clock. Car to Cedar Falls to make survey of, or for, is it of or for, or both? Maybe he wrote of and then he changed it. I don't know. I'm just gonna say for J.C. Johnson. Got back on 1 o'clock. Car. I had dinner at Mr. Anderson's. Worked in office 1:30 to 4, and then Georgia Gorga took me with Hector to Block Black Hawk Bridge. Could not find anyone there, so came home at 6. He's an engineer and he checks out a lot of railroads and bridges, so that's probably why he's going to that bridge. And his team wasn't there. Something gone, went, drove up to Berries. After supper, Georgia and I went downtown, then played flinch till 11:30. Wow, he took a bath. It's kind of concerning, like when he does, or when Georgia doesn't really talk about taking baths, but Ralph does mention it, and like every once in a while he'll mention it, and I'm like, is he not like bathing at all between those times? No, they talk about driving the horse, so they do use the term drive, but they mean the horse and buggy. Ian's home. Perfect timing. He always comes in right at the end, and he brings Claude sometimes. So we'll see. Maybe you guys are in for a treat. Oh, I didn't feed them yet. I gotta feed them their dinner. All right. Drove. Or nope. I read the comment again. I've been doing that a lot. Got up at 8:20. Helped. Oh, that's late. Helped with dishes. Went to Universalist Church with R. Hitched up and went to Grandpa's for dinner. Helped with dishes. Played and sang a while. Yeah, I know. A bath was probably a luxury. They probably like sponge bathed, I feel like, a lot. And then maybe every once in a while he gets like a hot bath or something. And that's why it's something worth mentioning in the diary, because it's like special. But it is just funny, like, how few and far between he's mentioning taking a bath. Is that an 8? It looks like a 4. It could be a 4, but that's kind of crazy if she got up at 4. I think it might be 8, because it's a Sunday. Maybe she slept in a little bit more. Played and sang a while. Then hitched up and took Mama home. And then we went driving. There it is again. Helped get supper. Played duets a while. Went to bed at 10:30. Went to PO at 10 to mail a card for Papa. Is her dad? Her dad was going away for something. I'm assuming for work. Did he never come back yet? Maybe it was Mrs. Newton that he was talking to. I gotta write down March 29th. So this is Ralph's March 29th. Clear. Got up at 8:30. So he got up at 8:32. Went to PO after mail. Shaved and dressed up. Went to here, New York. I wonder what that is. At the Universalist Church. Text. Totally different meaning that we would use for text now. Oh my god, what does it say? Something, something to the heavenly vision. Went up. I have no idea. Something to the heavenly vision. And I'm assuming that ends the quote, because then he's talking about Mr. Berry. So, went up to Mr. Berry's for dinner. visited and sang till 3:30. Good question about plumbing. I don't know. Indoor plumbing or outhouse? I don't know where plumbing stood in 1903. I could, I'll look it up. After I finish this entry, I'll look it up. Or if anyone knows, chime in. Oh, obedience. I think it is obedience. Penny, you're really good. You always get the words that I give up on. Okay. And maybe that's not vision, but I think it is probably. But if you see anything else, let me know. Sang till 3:30. Hitched up Hector and drove with Georgia till 6. After supper, read a little, played duets, and talked with Georgia. Went to PO at 10 and came back and went to bed at 10:30. He went to the post office at 10 at night. By 1900, all new houses had indoor plumbing. I wonder when their house was built. I don't know. All right, March 30th. They changed flinch for duets, yeah. I haven't tried any of the AI things that translate handwriting to text. I think it probably would have a hard time because a lot of it's cursive. But I haven't tried it. I think the actual process of doing this is fun, so I just kind of enjoy it. But if I was doing it for, like, practical purposes only, I would probably try them out. I know. I'm surprised the post office is open at 10 p.m. Maybe it's one of those, like, lockbox things, like... Actually, my post office in my town is 24 hours. But only the part with the... What's it called? The boxes. So you can go in and, like, look at your box. Your P.O. box. That's what it is. Anytime. Maybe that's the situation. Oh, well, that's cool. Maybe I'll try it one time just for fun, but I probably wouldn't use it on here, because then, like, what would we do? Helped with dinner. It would probably be stuck on a lot of the same words that we get stuck on. Like, we can read most of it, and then usually when we hit, like, a name that we haven't read before or a place, that's when we get tripped up a little bit. Hitched up when done dinner and took Papa to office. To 4th Street Bridge. Oh, I'll fix that. 4th Street Bridge. Then to Black Hawk to locate the bridge. Mr. Kane went with us. Went to office when I got back. Went downtown. She drives her dad around a lot and Ralph to do their engineering work. Helped with supper and dishes. Lovely day. Played flinch a while with R. Went to bed at 10:30. Okay. And Ralph. Okay, so we've got one more day, so 2 more entries after this one. Then we'll call it a night. 30th. Clear. Got up at 6. Made survey of 40-acre field. No, because then we wouldn't get the nice pics of Ralph draws of men. Yeah, that's true. I don't know what the AI would do with that. Ralph, one time when he was working on the railroad, encountered, unfortunately, it's actually very sad, a farmer was hit by a train. And instead of writing something nice about how it's so sad that the farmer was hit by the train, Ralph draws like a diagram of the way that his body was positioned on the train tracks. Like, it was pretty morbid. But it was just included in the diary like any old day. Any old normal, yeah, I went over here, and then here's the picture of the farmer. I can show you guys after if you want. Made survey of 40-acre field for GB Miller. 7 to 12. 12:30 to 6:30. Took dinner with us. Andy helped. Played flinch with Georgia till 10:30. I'll show the picture of the farmer at the end before I log off. So we have one more day of March. Then I'll show the picture, and then we will go our separate ways until next week. Ian's going in and out of the house a bunch of times. Wonder what he's up to. Is he in or out now? I think he's out. He's grilling, maybe? Oh, it doesn't work. Hey, Ian. Oh, it's Claude. Hi, Claude. Did you guys see that? I don't know if you could see him. He was near the stairs, poking his head in. Come here. He's hungry? I gotta go feed Claude after this. He's being a little dramatic, though, because, you know, I go to feed him, and he still has food from the morning that he didn't finish. He just wants me to watch him eat. That's what he wants. Claude is like, my name's not Ian, but I'll answer for food. Yeah. He is hungry. It is hilarious, though, because he'll go nuts, like, act like he is starving. And he literally has food still in his bowl that he didn't eat this morning. But as soon as I have to, like, touch the food, and then he'll eat it. Got up at 6:20, went and took things down in my room after breakfast. I wonder why. Went to office. I was gonna say maybe she's moving in with Ralph, but she's not yet. They're not married. Helped with dinner, dishes. Hitched up. We took R and Andy. Claude is so food motivated, by the way. Not Basil. Basil could care less. She likes a treat every now and then, but Claude, if you even touch the treat bag, he'll go feral. Hitched up and took R and Andy out to work. Way over the river. Went to office when I got back. Lately, their thing has been playing with their little spring toys all night. Made 28 something today. Pieces? I don't know what she's saying there. Went downtown. Helped with supper and dishes. R and I. Your sister has a bangle, and if you go anywhere near the fridge, he bolts to it and jumps. I'm lucky that my cat knows it's sleep time. Oh, yeah, I wish. I wish. I feel like they go through phases, my cats. Like, they were... Oh, it could be jars. Yeah, it could be... Oh, I don't know. It looks like a pea. Could be jars, though. They weren't too loud at night for a while. Like, every once in a while, they were exploring the house, so they'd, like, knock something over. That was happening a lot, and now that doesn't happen as much. But, God, like, Claude did not play. Like, as a kitten... Basil loved to play. She would, like, fetch her little... She loves the spring toys. She'd fetch them. She'd bring them to us. We'd throw them. She'd bring them back. Like, she was the one who really liked to play as a kitten. And Claude would play for a second and then give up. Like, he wasn't really about it. And now, all of a sudden, he is obsessed with the spring toy. Which is, like, it's like a little plastic spring. And I've heard from a lot of people that their cats are just obsessed with them. Because they kind of move unpredictably. And I have a video... But I can just show you guys a picture from the video. But this was yesterday. I want to get him, like, looking at me. The video is, like, 2 minutes long, and it's literally him sitting like this. I don't know if he didn't know it was on there, But if you guys can see it, oh, it's reflecting. That little green thing is just the spring sitting on his body. And I don't know if he put it there somehow, it's like in his fur, or if Basil put it there and maybe he didn't even know it was there. He was just looking at us up the stairs. That's where he always lays, at the bottom of the stairs, and he looks up. And it was funny. But all night he's been chasing it, like, and making so much noise. But it's okay, because I'm on summer vacation, and it doesn't wake Ian up, so just me. R and I played Flinch. Went to bed at 10:30. March 31st. Ralph. Last one for tonight. Clear. Got up at 6. Went with Daily on 7 o'clock. Car halfway to Cedar Falls. And I ran line for something. Got back on 9:45. Do they have telephones? Yes, actually, in the 1895 diary, which I have right here, I can show ya. It's cute. It's a small one. This is Georgia's 1895 diary, and it's the first one we read of this series. And in it, she actually talks about using a telephone for the first time, like talking through a telephone for the first time, because her uncle got one. So I think by this time, her family probably has one too. But it was cool to kind of like witness through the diary that first time ever using a telephone. It's just kind of crazy. Took letter to ICRR Depot and got and saw something Robinson. Des Robinson? I don't know. Made the blueprints in office. And went up to treasurer's office to see about tapes. After dinner, Georgia took Andy and I out to Miller's. Then, if they called on someone, does that mean physical or telephone? Usually she means physically. Yeah, they're still using that called on as like visited. Then to lot on something street. Something street, which we surveyed for Nellie Newton. Drew stakes in GB Miller piece. $230. How did they indicate the phone was used? Good question. I feel like we could look back at it, but when Ralph called one time, I think he said he called her up. Or he might have said he telephoned, actually. I think that's what they usually say. They don't talk about using the phone a lot. When she spoke about it, she said it spoke through the telephone for the first time. That's how she said it. And I think he said telephoned. Now that I'm, like, talking about it, I feel like that's what he said. It's crazy to think something that's commonplace for our generation isn't for another. More modern example, internet and smartphones. Yes, yeah. Drove stakes in GB Miller. Peace, 2:30 to 6. Yeah, the internet, like, it's insane how far that's come in such little time. Hi, Ian. Perfect timing. I'm done. What are you doing out there? Are you grilling? I don't know. You keep going in and out of the house. Oh, okay. I got the whole list. Nice. Except for Polynesian sauce, they didn't have it. Oh, I don't need that anyway. So thanks. I got Chick-fil-A sauce, but I'm now thinking that they... Oh my God, we don't need that. That's okay. Don't put it in the fridge. Just put it in the pantry, and then we'll... Come say hi before I go. I don't know if they can hear you. They can hear me. Yeah, each phone use must have been expensive, and it was like certain people in town would have a phone, and everyone would go to them to visit to use the phone. I don't know if your grandma's still here, but she was here before. Rachel says hi.
Hi, Rachel.
They can't see your face. You have to bend down. They heard you in the distance. Claude was peeking around. I think he's hungry, but he probably still has food in his bowl, I was saying to them. Still, you're only showing your shirt. Valentina says hi. Can you see all the people? Does Ian have dimples? Do you have dimples?
What?
When you
face?
smile? I don't know. I don't think you have, was that dimples?
I don't know.
Isn't dimples like, oh, your grandma says hi.
Hi, Grandma.
Isn't dimples like when there's a dot? He has these things. What are these called? Wrinkles?
I don't know.
Dimples? I have them. If dimples is this, then yes, he has them. I always thought dimples was that, but then someone was talking about them and it was like little dots that form. I don't know. Anyways, are you ready to eat dinner?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go eat. Next week's live is gonna be on Thursday. I know this week was weird because of the 4th of July. So next week is Thursday the 11th. So I'll see you guys then. If you want to register... Oh, sorry, yes, I'll show the picture of the farmer. Sorry, guys. We got to see the dead farmer. That was in the 1901 diary. Did I put a picture in here? I think I did. If not, I can find the actual page. I'm pretty sure it was early on. Right here. Okay, so in the diary, this man, poor Nelson Rutherford, was hit by a train. Don't laugh. I laugh. It's so distant in the past, it's hard to take it, because anyways, the reason why we can't take it seriously is because Ralph, who is usually very, he's just a very straightforward kind of guy. And he thought it was appropriate in his diary to talk about, he said, farmer got hit by a train this many feet east of whatever. And then he drew a picture of the farmer. He said his legs were pointing towards the track. And he drew a picture, and he drew the train tracks, and that was one of our first, what month was this? This was early on. January. This was the 10th entry we ever read from Ralph. So that was one of our first impressions of him, was that he's completely immune to any kind of feeling about this guy's death, and he just wants to draw a diagram of it. He's an engineer. Yes, happy 4th, everybody. I'll see you next week. On that note, rest in peace, Nelson. All right, bye, everyone. I'm still live.